If you own a home in Newport Beach, Corona del Mar, Laguna Beach, Laguna Niguel, or Dana Point, I want to walk you through what has actually been happening in your local market over the past 2 weeks. The answer to whether now is a good time to sell or buy depends entirely on which city you're in and what the data is actually showing at the micro level. The short answer is this: buyer demand surged meaningfully in late January, while new inventory came on slowly. That combination is making conditions heading into what is historically the strongest selling season of the season. But that headline doesn't tell you what you actually need to know, because the market in Laguna Niguel is behaving completely different than the market in Newport Beach. And if you're making decisions based on Orange County averages or national headlines, you're working with the wrong information. So let me give you the context, the city-specific data, and then the one piece of analysis that most people miss when they're trying to figure out what's really happening in a market like this. The mortgage rate environment right now is sitting at 6.16%. That's nearly a full percentage point lower than this time last year, and that difference is not small. On a $2 million loan, the gap between 7% and 6.16% is about $1,100 per month. That's over $13,000 per year in savings, and for buyers in this price range, that changes what they can afford and how motivated they are to move. We've now had rates below 6.5% since September of 2025, which is the longest sustained stretch of lower rates we've seen in several years. That consistency is what's changing buyer behavior. People who were waiting are no longer waiting, and the pending sale data across every city in this update confirms it. Now, most market reports will tell you what's happening across Orange County as a whole. This update is different. The coastal communities where you live operate as their own markets, and the data that matters to you is specific to your city and your neighborhood, not a county-wide average. The median sold price across all of Orange County in December was $1.155 million. In Newport Beach, it was $3.625 million. In Corona del Mar, $4.485 million. These are fundamentally different conversations, and treating them the same way leads to bad decisions. Let me walk you through what the current data is showing city by city, and then I'll show you the one analytical layer that separates people who understand market momentum from people who are just reacting to headlines. Starting with Newport Beach. The story here is about two completely different markets operating at the same time. There are 194 active listings right now, but only 49 are pending. That's a pending to active ratio of about 25%, which tells you this is a buyer selective market. Buyers have options and they're using them. Here's what that actually means. If your home is priced correctly and shows well, you're going to see activity quickly. 21 homes went under contract in 14 days or fewer, and the fastest moving properties achieved 100.3% of list price. That's multiple offer territory. But 113 of those 194 active listings have been sitting for 30 days or more. So the market isn't slow, it's selective. The homes that are moving are priced in alignment with where buyers see value. The ones that aren't are sitting, and that spread between what's listed and what's actually selling is the entire pricing conversation. The median sold price is $3.625 million, but the median list price for active inventory is $4.495 million. That gap tells you something important. Sellers are testing the high end of the market, and buyers are choosing carefully. Cash buyers represent 29% of all closed sales, which reinforces that this is a high net worth buyer pool that doesn't need to move quickly unless they see clear value. If you're selling in Newport Beach right now, positioning matters more than timing. If you're buying, you have negotiating room on anything that's been sitting longer than 30 days. Corona del Mar is the tightest market on this list, and the numbers show it clearly. Only 65 homes are active, just 16 are pending. Homes are selling in an average of 37 days, and the fastest selling segment averaged 102.1% of list price. That means well-priced homes are attracting competitive offers. What does that mean for you? If you're a seller in Corona del Mar, you have leverage right now, but only if your pricing is sharp. Buyers in this market are serious and prepared, but there aren't enough of them to carry overpriced inventory. The median sold price is $4.485 million, and the pending median is 3.945 million, which tells you the homes currently under contract are slightly below the recent sales average. That's not weakness. That's buyers being selective about which properties justify premium pricing. If you're buying in Corona Del Mar, expect to move quickly on anything that checks your boxes. This is not a market where you can wait a week to make a decision. Homes that are priced correctly and show well are going into escrow fast. Laguna Beach operates differently than any other city in this report, and you need to understand why before you look at the numbers. The average days on market is 125 days. That's not a red flag. That's the Laguna Beach buyer. This is someone who is highly specific about architecture, views, and lifestyle. They're not buying a house. They're buying a very particular version of coastal living, and they're willing to wait for it. There are 133 active listings right now, and 30 homes are pending. 13 of those pending sales went under contract in under 2 weeks, which tells you that when the right buyer finds the right property, they move. The median sold price is $2.925 million, and sellers are receiving 96.5% of list on average. The active median list price is $5.475 million, which reflects the premium inventory that's currently available. What does this mean for you? If you're selling in Laguna Beach, patience is part of the process. Your buyer is out there, but they're looking for something specific and they're not going to settle. If you're buying, you have time to be thoughtful. This is a market where you can evaluate multiple properties, understand the micro neighborhoods, and negotiate from a position of information rather than urgency. Laguna Niguel is the most active and competitive market among the 5 cities, and the data confirms it at every level. 52 homes are currently pending against just 85 listings. That's a pending to active ratio of 61%, which is the strongest in this entire report. What that tells you is that buyers are absorbing inventory faster than it's being replenished, and that creates seller leverage. The median sold price is $1.165 million, and sellers are receiving 99% of list price overall. The fastest moving segment averaged 100.2%, which means competitive offers are happening on well-positioned homes. Average days on market is just 30 days. 29 of the 52 current pending sales went under contract in under 2 weeks. If you're a seller in Laguna Niguel, this is your market right now. Demand is strong, it's relatively tight, and well-placed homes are moving quickly. If you're a buyer, you need to be pre-approved, prepared, and ready to act when you find the right property. Hesitation in this market will cost you. Dana Point is showing something interesting that most people miss when they just look at the headline numbers. The average days on market is 67 days, which sounds moderate, but the pending median price is $2.374 million, and the median sold price is $1.625 million. That gap tells you something important. The homes currently under contract are significantly higher in price than what's been selling recently, which signals upward price pressure building in the pipeline. 13 of the 32 current pending sales went under contract in under 2 weeks, which tells you that buyer urgency exists in this market when homes are positioned correctly. The active median list price is $2.664,995, which reflects the premium nature of what's currently available in the Harbor and Hillside neighborhoods. So what does all this mean for you? If you're selling in Dana Point, the data suggests that buyer appetite is moving upward in price, but you still need to be realistic about positioning. If you're buying, you have more room to negotiate than you would in Laguna Niguel or Corona Del Mar. That most homes that are priced well are still moving with urgency. Before I get into what most people are missing when they analyze this data, I'm curious, which of the 5 cities are you watching right now? Are you in Newport Beach trying to figure out pricing strategy? Laguna Niguel, wondering if you should wait? Drop a comment and let me know which market you're tracking. I read every single one. Now here's the nuance most people overlook when they're trying to understand what's actually happening in a market. Everyone looks at active inventory, everyone looks at pending sales, but very few people are looking at the ratio between the two and that ratio tells you more about market momentum and seller leverage than almost any other single metric. Let me explain what I mean. In Laguna Niguel right now, there are 85 active listings and 52 pending sales. Do a pending to active ratio, 61%. Newport Beach, there are 194 active listings and 49 pending sales. That's a pending to active ratio of about 25%. Those are not the same options. A high pending to active ratio means buyers are absorbing inventory faster than it's being replenished. That creates seller leverage. A low pending to active ratio means there's more supply relative to current demand, which gives buyers more room to negotiate and select. This is not about whether one market is better than the other. It's about understanding what kind of negotiating position you're in depending upon where your home is located. If you're selling in Laguna Niguel right now, the data suggests you have pricing power and speed on your side if your home is positioned correctly. If you're selling in Newport Beach, you have a larger pool of potential buyers, but you also have more competition from other sellers, and the margin of error in pricing is smaller because buyers in that price range have options and they're using them. Now here's my question for you. When you've been looking at market reports or talking to other agents, has anyone ever mentioned the pending to active ratio to you? Or is this the first time you're hearing about it as a way to measure momentum? Let me know in the comments because I'm genuinely curious how widely this metric is being used. For buyers, this ratio tells you where you need to move quickly and where you have room to be thoughtful. In Laguna Niguel and Corona del Mar, hesitation costs you homes. In Laguna Beach and parts of Newport Beach, you can take your time, evaluate multiple properties, and negotiate from a position of information rather than urgency. The broader point is this: the coastal Orange County market is not one market. It is 5 distinct markets operating under different price points, different buyer profiles, different inventory levels, and different rates of absorption. The pending to active ratio is one of the clearest ways to see which direction momentum is moving in each city, and it's updated every 2 weeks based on what's actually happening in the MLS, not what headlines are saying about the national market or even the county as a whole. If you're thinking about selling, the window between rising demand and rising competition is open right now. Demand surged 38% in the past 2 weeks, while new inventory grew modestly. That is the condition sellers want. It will narrow as more sellers enter the market through February and March, because that's what always happens in spring. The question is whether you're positioning your home in alignment with where buyers are actually making decisions, or whether you're pricing based on what you hope the market will do. If you're thinking about buying, inventory across these 5 cities is higher than it was in 2024, which means more options than buyers had last year are meaningfully lower than they were in 2025. And yet, the market is heating up quickly, with 70 homes going under contract in 14 days or fewer in just the last 14 days alone. Laguna Beach, Indiana currently offer the most room for thoughtful negotiation. Laguna Niguel and Corona del Mar require speed and preparation. Newport Beach rewards buyers homes are correctly priced and which ones are not. The common thread across all 5 cities is this: buyers who enter this spring market without preparation, pre-approval, and a clear strategy will lose homes to buyers who do. And sellers who list without understanding the specific behavior of buyers in their city and their price band will sit longer than they need to and leave money on the table. If you want clarity specific to your home and your neighborhood within one of these coastal cities, I do offer a focused 15-minute strategy call. It's simply a conversation about your property and your timing. No pressure, no sales pitch, just a clear assessment of where you stand based on the most current data available. You can schedule that directly through the link in the description below. My name is Missy Leeson. I'm a local Orange County realtor, and I specialize in the coastal markets we just talked about. Newport Beach, Corona del Mar, Laguna Beach, Laguna Niguel, and Dana Point. I track this micro market every 2 weeks because I believe that accurate neighborhood level intelligence is what separates good decisions from explicit mistakes. If this kind of analysis is helpful to you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I post these market updates regularly, and I also break down pricing strategy, buyer behavior, and the kinds of positioning mistakes that cost people real money. Hit the like button if this was useful, and drop a comment below with any questions about your specific city or situation. I respond to everything. Whether you're 6 months out or you're ready to move next week, understanding the market you're actually in matters more than understanding the market everyone's talking about. And right now, the data is clear. Momentum is shifting, rates are favorable, and the spring market is here. The question is whether you're making decisions based on accurate, hyper-local intelligence or assumptions that don't apply to where you live.